Precinct 1. 11 present, 12 absent. Precinct 1 reports 11 present, 12 absent. Precinct 2. 11 present, 13 absent. Precinct 2 reports 11 present, 13 absent. Precinct 3. Okay, let's go to Precinct 4. 11 present, 14 absent. Precinct 4, 11 present, 14 absent. Precinct 5. Precinct 5, 20 present, 9 absent. Precinct 6. 16 present, 12 absent. Precinct 6, 16 present, 12 absent. Precinct 7. 17 present, 13 absent. Precinct 7, 17 present, 13 absent. Precinct 8. 18 present, 10 absent in Precinct 8. Precinct 3. 16 present, 13 absent. Precinct 3 is 16 present, 13 absent. At large? 19 present, 7 absent. At large, 19 present, 7 absent. Uh, 139 members being present. We do have a quorum. Will the monitors please bring forward their attendance sheets? I think we do it after we do the opening of it. It'll be part of the meeting. I'll ask the clerk to read the warrant.
Good evening. This is the special town meeting, January 13th, 2020, Milford, Massachusetts, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Worcester County. To either constable of the town of Milford in said county, greetings. In the name of the Commonwealth aforesaid, you are hereby required to notify and warn the inhabitants of the town of Milford, qualified by law to vote in town affairs, to meet in the upper hall of the Milford Town Hall, 52 Main Street, on the 13th day of January.
Okay, let's remind people to turn off their cell phones, please. I'm sorry. Article, start again.
Yep. January 2020, AD at 7 o'clock p.m., and then in there to act upon the following articles. Article 1.
Motion's been made and dispensed with to dispense with the reading of the articles. All those in favor manifest by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion is carried. Clerk will now read the officer's return.
Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Worcester County, Milford, Massachusetts, December 20th, 2019. Pursuant to the within warrant, I have notified the inhabitants of the town of Milford to meet at the time and place for the purpose within mentioned by posting attested copies of this warrant in 10 or more public places in Milford. Mark Calzaloya, Constable. Thank you.
If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance as we start our meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, just a reminder of the procedure. In order to address the meeting, obviously elected town meeting member has the right to address the meeting, and also any registered voter in the town of Milford has the right to address the meeting. You'll have to seek recognition. We'll follow the same procedure that we've followed in the past few meetings. I'll ask people to line up in either aisle if they wish to speak. And please get up so that there's plenty of time for you to be recognized. And also, you can also try to get my attention by yelling at me, Mr. Moderator. If you're not a registered voter in the town of Milford, you would require the unanimous consent of the body to address the meeting. Also, it's been brought to my attention at the last meeting, please be respectful of those people that take an opposite view. Some people felt that they were being criticized for standing and voting for something that somebody else didn't vote with them for. So we all have different points of view on articles, so that please respect those opinions of people that are opposed to you. Okay, committee reports. Chairman of the Finance Committee, Christopher Moran.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, town meeting members. There's only a couple of financial articles on here. Obviously, we have a light warrant here. Some of the articles, Article 4 is the fire department. The fire department has completed its contract negotiations with the town. Now that the negotiations are over, there are some retro pay that needs to be paid to the fire department in order to comply with this contract. The town is seeking $155,000 from free cash to be able to pay off the remainder of the contract that was settled with the fire department. Articles 1 and 2, you're going to see presentations today, so you notice I'm not using our fancy screen and I'm not going to talk your ears off. So I just want to let you know that as a finance committee, we were unanimously favorable on Articles 1 and 2. We feel that investment in the community, such as these two companies, Interaction and Rentschler, investments of $7 million and $55 million are considerable investments into our town. For those of you, I'm sure you're going to hear about TIFs tonight and how they work. An important thing to realize is the taxes on their current locations are not going down. The only things that are affected by these TIFs are their new investments. So it's not like we're going to have less tax income because of the TIF agreements that are being presented to you tonight. That's an extremely important thing. Everything here that they are going to invest in is increased income to this town. It's very much, a TIF is very much like when you see with Comcast and Verizon, where for the first couple of years it'd be $89 and then it'll go to the regular price. That's what these TIFs are. They're temporary reprieve of these property taxes for a set amount of time. You'll see that there's two different durations for the two different TIFs, and then the property taxes will go in full. The different thing from the Comcast and Verizon example is that when you're done with Verizon and Comcast, you can switch to the other one and get a good deal. These people cannot do that. Once these infrastructure improvements are made to these buildings, even if they go out of business, they decide they don't want to be in Milford anymore, they get bought up by another company, these buildings and the property improvements do not go away. They can't pick the building up with them and leave. It's a permanent addition to our tax revenue. Obviously, everyone got their tax bills recently. I certainly got many phone calls about the fact that the bills went up. Commercial investment in our town and the taxable income that brings helps your residential tax rate. So if you do not like what your taxes are, the commercial investment and the increased tax revenue that they bring helps the residents of this town with their taxes. Thank you very much.
What is the pleasure of meeting? Article 1, Selectman Buckley.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I move that the town vote pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40, Section 59, and Chapter 23A, Sections 3A through 3F, and the applicable regulations thereunder, to approve tax incremental financing agreement as posted on the Milford Town Meeting website, as well as placed in town meeting members' chairs this evening, between the town and Rentschler Biopharma, Inc., for properties shown on Assessor Map lots 15 and 16, located at 27 Maple Street, which TIF agreement provides for real estate tax exemptions at the exemption rate schedule set forth therein, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute TIF agreements and any documents related thereto, and approve submission to the Economic Assistance Coordinating Council and the TIF agreement, and the documents related thereto, all related to the project as described in the TIF agreement, and necessary documents related thereto, and related submissions to take such other actions as necessary or appropriate to implement those documents and carry out the purposes of this article.
Motion has been made and seconded. The town vote pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 59, and Chapter 23A, Sections 3A through 3F, and the applicable regulations thereunder, to A, approve a tax increment financing agreement as posted on the Town of Milford's town meeting website, as well as placed on town meeting members' chairs this evening, between the town and Rentschler Biopharma, Inc. for properties shown on Assessors Map 45, lots 15 and 16, located at 27 Maple Street, which TIF agreement provides for real estate tax exemptions at the exemption rate schedule set forth therein, and B, to authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute the TIF agreement and any documents related thereto, and to approve submission to the Economic Assistance Coordinating Council of the TIF agreement, and any documents related thereto, all relating to the project as described in the TIF agreement, and any necessary documents relating thereto, and related submissions, and to take such other actions as necessary or appropriate to implement those documents and carry out the purpose of this article. Any vote care to be heard? Selectman Buckley.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and welcome town meeting members on a very dreary night. Thank you for taking the time away from your families for these articles and this warrant. According to Kevin Kuros, the Regional Director for the State Office of Business Development, there have been 13 TIFs signed by the town of Milford since 1996. That capital investment has resulted in over $200 million and over 500 jobs. And in his words, proof that the program works. Back in October of last year, the two companies that are represented tonight came to the town with proposals. The Board of Selectmen created a working group that included our town administrator, Rick Villani, our town council, Charles Boddy, our finance director, Zach Taylor, and we also used the services of the assessor's office when it came to questions of taxation and assessment. Jen was very helpful in helping the working group navigate through that process. We iterated back and forth. There were proposals and counter-proposals. Sometimes it was tough, sometimes it went well overall, and in the end it was collegial and professional, where the town walked away with an understanding and a belief that we had something that could work for this community, and the businesses walked away with an understanding that they had something that would work for them. That proposal was subsequently taken to the Board of Selectmen, and ultimately the Board of Selectmen voted unanimously to support those TIF proposals, the TIF proposals you have in front of you. So by way of background that tells you how this was born, its DNA, the article that we have specifically in front of us today deals with Rentschler. Rentschler Biopharma is a contract developer and manufacturer for pharmaceuticals. They create help pharmaceutical corporations get through the life cycle process of from concept to development and manufacturing, and then marketing release of drugs that help people. One of the ones they're currently manufacturing today happens to help those with hemophilia. But their core principles are that they create a pathway for pharmaceutical companies to market products that help people live a better quality of life. The agreement that we put together is a 12-year incremental finance agreement. The company will invest $55 million, $27 for building renovations, and $28 for personal property. $28 million. 100% personal property tax exemption is not contained within this agreement. That's something granted by the state and consistent with state statute for manufacturers that are automatically exempt in personal property. Estimated best effort tax savings over the life of the TIF to the company is $1.262 million. Estimated revenue to the town is $917,282. You know, one thing I want to clarify for both TIFs, but I want to talk about it as it applies to Rensselaer first, is nothing changes in the original structure and the original taxes that were paid to the town. They continue to be paid at the same rate. This is only for the expansion and development of their new programs. That's what this TIF applies to. So there's no backdating or changes for anything that already existed for Rensselaer here. Full tax falling at the end of the TIF, approximately $182,000 per year for a total of $412,000 per year. Part of the reason and part of the rationale for entering into the TIF agreement is that we maintain jobs in town and we create nearly 75 more. The company must use all reasonable effort to use Milford vendors for their projects. Company must use reasonable effort to hire Milford employees. And the benefit to any community as businesses grow are the expanded local spending that happens in a vibrant economy. People are going to get their cars repaired. People are going to, also have hotels that are full. The intent is that they'll be having meetings here because worldwide and regionally it makes sense that they'll stay in Milford hotels, and Milford receives tax revenues from those occupancy taxes as well. I'd urge you to provide support for this article and vote in favor of it, and if you have any questions, I'm interested in hearing those.
Any other voter care to be heard? Mr. Visconti.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Visconti from Precinct 8. Mr. Moderator, ladies and gentlemen, I move to amend the article on the floor in the following way. Regarding the TIF agreement dated January 14, 2020, referenced in Article 1, I propose an amendment as follows. Excuse me for 1 second, let me just get this here. In Section 6, Sentence 1, delete, quote, plans to use commercially reasonable and viable efforts, end quote. Replace that with, quote, shall use best efforts. Section 6, Sentence 2, delete entirely. This is all about planning. Replace that with, quote, the company shall advertise employment opportunities in the Town Crier and the Milford Daily News in order to encourage Milford residents to apply. Section 7, Sentence 1, delete, quote, plans to use reasonable efforts. Replace that with, quote, shall use best efforts.
Amendment to the motion has been presented as follows. Looking at the TIF agreement that you all have a copy of, under Section 6, Sentence 1, the amendment is to delete the following, quotation marks, plans to use commercially reasonable and viable efforts, and replace that with shall use best efforts. And then Section 6, Sentence 2, delete that sentence, and then replace it with the company shall advertise employment opportunities in the Town Crier and the Milford Daily News in order to encourage Milford residents to apply. And then in Section 7, Sentence 1, delete plans to use reasonable efforts and replace it with shall use best efforts. Mr. Visconti.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not categorically opposed to TIF agreements. This agreement is littered with weak language to the benefit of the company requesting the TIF and to the detriment of the citizens of Milford. These proposed amendments will help correct some of that weak language. There are three basic standards of efforts used in agreements under the law. The one used here, commercially reasonable and variable efforts, according to legal scholars who caution you to avoid using that language at any cost. The second standard, reasonable efforts, is a little higher standard. The more appropriate standard to guarantee the citizens of Milford a fair deal is the term best efforts, and that is what this amendment is proposing. So instead of using commercially reasonable and viable efforts to help hire Milford people, this amendment indicates that they will use best efforts. That means that they will leave no stone unturned in order to attract Milford residents to these so-called high-paying jobs. Let's see, I'm sorry. This agreement also uses reasonable efforts in the Section 7 where it calls for contracting Milford vendors. Once again, this amendment will change that to best efforts, all for the benefit of the citizens of our town. One important thing, acceptance of this amendment will provide a potential huge benefit to the residents of our town at no cost at all to the residents. That's important. No cost at all for this amendment to be approved. I would respectfully ask that you approve this amendment. Thank you.
Any other voter care to be heard on the amendment to the motion? Mr. Buckley.
I'm not a legal scholar, but I feel comfortable with the language in the amendment is not littered with weakness. But having said that, Mr. Visconti, the previous speaker, did indicate to our town council and to our town administrator prior to the meeting, several days prior to the meeting, his intent to make these changes. And as the person who read the article, I see, I would encourage you to vote in favor of it because it frankly meets the same intent and the words shall are clear, and it does nothing detrimental to the contract, and in any case I would say that it's acceptable change. Thank you very much. I'd urge you to vote in favor of the amendment.
Any other voter care to be heard on the amendment to the motion? If not, the question comes upon the amendment to the motion. All those members in favor of the amendment manifest by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The amendment to the motion is carried. I'd also like to compliment Mr. Visconti. As a town meeting member, I appreciate, in a moderator's position, being aware of amendments to the motion ahead of time so they can be reviewed so that it falls within the scope of the article, and I was able to do that with the town administrator and town council a few days back. So, again, thank you, Mr. Visconti. Now for a presentation, I understand we have representatives of the company, and they are not registered voters of the town of Milford. Therefore, they would require unanimous consent of the body to address the meeting. Does any voter care to be, or any town meeting member care to object to their addressing the meeting? If not, I'll recognize the members. Please come up and introduce yourself.
Good evening. I'm Karen Savage. I am the Rentschler Biopharma Milford site vice president. While they're getting that ready, I do want to extend my thank yous. First of all, to the selectmen, thank you, Appreciate you unanimously supporting our TIF proposal. I also appreciate and thank the Finance Committee. And also local TIF officials, the TIF team, Bill Buckley, Rick Villani, Charles Bodie, and Zach Taylor. Thank you very much for your efforts and support. Furthermore, to Senator Ryan Fatman and Representative Brian Murray for coming out and spending some time at the site and really seeing all the good work that Rentschler Biopharma does. Thank you, appreciate it. So now a little bit more about Rentschler. So Rentschler Biopharma, we are actually a family-owned organization. It says founded in 1927, but it's even earlier than that. We are headquartered in Germany, Laupheim, Germany, and we started actually as a pharmacy. So we're almost about 100 years old. And through the generations, the Rentschlers have really pioneered and continued on. And currently, it's a fifth-generation family-owned organization. What we do is that we produce, manufacture and develop medicines for either large biopharma or small biopharma. If you will, we are the middleman who are doing the manufacturing, and we are a mid-sized company. We are producing these products so we can treat patients or save their lives for serious or rare diseases. For example, as Mr. Buckley had mentioned, we are currently making a product that is on the market to save lives for patients with hemophilia. So it's great work that we do here in Rentschler Biopharma, and we'd like to continue to partner with our clients for other drugs that saves lives, such as cancer. We do provide our services to clients. We have over 140 clients at this point between our site in Laupheim, Germany, and now in Milford. So about Milford, the Milford site was acquired in January of 2019. We're very proud to be in Milford, and I have to say I'm very honored to be in this historic town hall. This is amazing. I feel like I have made it. We're here because this is really proximity to our clients. We're in the Boston BioHub. Our clients need a place to manufacture their products, and they'd rather have and stay in the US than go to our Germany site. And so that's what the attraction is for our US location. It's really proximity to our clients. We are a regulated facility, so the FDA regulates us, and we have visits from them to make sure that we're following the practices that are needed for biopharma, and also EMA, which is the European, so we're a licensed facility for both. We do have excellence in technology and innovation, and that's what we're currently doing with our current site, with the floor plan that we have, is that we are currently underway of spending about $20 million to expand in the current facility to bring in more of this technology, single-use technology, and ensuring that our site is refreshed. So if you've gone by the site, you may have seen some work going on, and we're really making sure that the site is improved and we can develop and manufacture within the current space. And we're also proud to say that we are one of the largest life sciences companies in Milford. So we have a proposed expansion plan. Again, we appreciate being part of Milford site, and we would like to continue to expand. We own and operate the 108,000 square foot biomanufacturing facility, and we seek to continue to expand due to customer demand. So they really want this. We have evaluated and are evaluating sites within Massachusetts and outside of Massachusetts, within the town and outside of the town. However, we really like Milford. And I do want to share that I have actually been at this plant at 27 Maple Street for 10 years. And before Rentschler, it was large biopharma. It didn't work. And with Rentschler coming in and the partnerships that we do with our clients and even with the community, this is really the core to our values. And to continue and to expand, this is our first choice, is Milford. So we plan, our plan and our goal and our vision is to construct a 24,000 square foot on-site expansion. So the property has even further capacity than that. So the new project, which is phase 2, so phase 1 is the current that we have, but phase 2 is what we're proposing for the TIF. It's a $55 million investment, and this is quite significant for a family-owned business. $46 million is for the hard and soft costs, the clean room pods, the mechanical and electrical and plumbing and process automation, and then $9 million is for the personal property. Phase 3 is not considered in this, but it could be our future in another 5 years. So again, we see this growing into a campus style where we currently have phase 1, which is underway. Phase 2 is for the proposal of the TIF, and then in the future could be also phase 3 for more laboratory space. And for this phase 2 expansion, we plan to continue to retain the 85 jobs that we currently have at the site, and then also create additionally a minimum of 75, though we see that going even higher. And we really have diverse job roles. So it goes from entry level all the way through scientist level. So for example, manufacturing associates, we may have mechanics, engineers, scientists, IT, office and administration, and further facilities. So we see this as an average salary about $100K plus benefits. And our benefits are very good. So for example, if an entry-level person comes on board, we offer education assistance and also on-site training at Milford or in Germany, and we can kind of grow the team members for their career at the site. And then, of course, our economic impact. So we've been here about a year now, and we're very involved with the community. We are spending a lot of time in the hotels and the restaurants and catering. We have spent already about $1.3 million. Specifically, Oliva's sells pizza, pepperoncinos. We like to eat. We have a lot of client events, and we have community events at our site. So we're always entertaining, and we have a lot of people coming from Germany, as well as clients coming to visit. So there's quite a bit of entertaining going on and utilization of the area. So hotels, Tony's Taxi, and then also industrial services. So we also utilize Waters, which is across the street, and then also Milton Cat. We are already very involved with the community. As I mentioned, I have been here 10 years at the site, but now with Rentschler, we've really ramped up our engagement with the community because that really is the core value for the Rentschler family. And I have participated at the end of last year with the Milford High School STEM program, and we seek to continue to do that with internships and career days, career fairs, also helping the students with the resumes as well when they're getting ready to apply for jobs. I am a member of the Milford Area Chamber of Commerce, and the company is also an active member of the MAC as well. So we have continued our community involvement and would like to go further with that. In this picture here, just to make it real, there is a Mr. Rentschler. And so you see on the right-hand corner there, there's Mr. Rentschler in the picture. So he exists. And then in the upper picture, that is our senior leadership team at the site. And then we have some of our Laupheim, Germany management as well in the picture here. So we are real. So we thank you for considering this partnership. I would like to present a video to kind of just summarize our vision for Rentschler Biopharma. So let me try that. So thank you again. We appreciate your support and partnership. The TIF overall will really help offset our costs and also provide economic development for Milford.
Any other vote of care to be heard? Representative Murray.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The TIF program, the Tax Increment Financing Program, is really a partnership among the state, the local municipality, as well as the business. Both myself and Senator Fatman had the opportunity to tour not only Rensselaer, but the other business as well. And we were both very, very impressed, as you can see from the video, the degree of technology that is there, the level of professionalism, and just the overall management of the business. Senator Fatman wanted to be here tonight, but unfortunately cannot due to an illness in the family. Sometimes you hear this referred to as a tax break. But that's not what I call it. I call it a development incentive because you can't give a break on taxes you don't have. So you saw the presentation on Rensselaer. You know what the numbers are. It's 24,000 square foot addition, $55 million investment to the community. They're looking to keep 85 jobs here. We're going to add 75 jobs. You saw what kind of jobs those are. The way the program works, as was said, Rensselaer will be paying just a percentage of the incremental increase on the development that they're making. They'll continue to pay 100% of their existing real estate taxes. Over that 12-year proposal, the incremental increase to the town of Milford is over $900,000. The company realizes a savings on what they otherwise would pay of about $1.2 million. But the important thing to remember long term, at the end of 12 years, there's full taxation not only in the initial property, but on the developed property as well. So you say, what if we don't do this? What if there is no development incentive? Well, I can tell you there'll be no $900,000 to the town. There'll be no full taxation after 12 years. There'll be no 75 jobs, and we're probably going to lose the 85 jobs as well as the business. Because as much as Rensselaer would like to stay here, and as much as they have a keen interest in Milford, in business, the bottom line is key. And this is a very competitive market that we face right now, particularly locally. And I can tell you at the State House just a couple of months ago, representatives from a Worcester business park developed solely for life sciences businesses just like this, is making a very aggressive and heavy push to court businesses such as Rensselaer. And we know Marlborough and Westboro right up the street. Milford, and I'm biased, as I'm sure everyone in here is, I think is the best. The location is key, the services are great, but we do have a dual tax rate, and that's difficult for businesses to deal with. So the TIF program is not unknown to Milford. As Selectman Buckley said, we've done this a number of times in the past. You heard what the overall numbers mean to the community long term. 500 jobs added, $200 million capital investment in the town of Milford. When you think about some of these companies that we've done TIFs for, Waters, Avisha, Clark, Lowe's, Consigli, and most of them are at full taxation now. These companies really form the commercial, industrial foundation that's benefiting the town now financially. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to see that this foundation continues to be solidified and to be built on for future generations. When I was selectman, I had the opportunity to be involved in a number of these TIF agreements, and I will say I think the present board has done an excellent job in putting this together, along with the administrative working team. But people would ask me, well, how do you choose this business? Why do you say you're going to give an agreement to this business as to someone else? Well, first of all, the company applies to the state to be eligible for the TIF program. But really, personally, I had three factors that I looked at on any applicant. And I think by and large, the board still looks at the same kinds of things. Number one, what is the effect on the town? Is it going to be positive or detrimental? Is the company going to be making a noxious product, something that people don't want? Is there going to be an unreasonable increase in traffic to the community? Will there be an inordinate use of resources or services to the town? Secondly, what's the employment factor? How many jobs are going to be coming, and what kind of jobs are they? What's going to be the ripple effect on other local businesses, our restaurants, our gas stations, our hotels? Thirdly, and to me this was most important, what's the level of community involvement for this business coming to town? Are they going to come, simply make money, and leave at the end of the day? Or are they going to be part of our community and help us grow together? I think on this stand alone, I think Rensselaer is outstanding, already developing a very key partnership with Milford High School in terms of the STEM program, but also an internship program to really forge that school-to-work gap that exists for so many of our students. So I think when you evaluate all of these three factors in light of the presentation before you, I think you'll all agree that Rensselaer would be a very welcome corporate citizen to the town of Milford, and I would urge your support on this article. Thank you.
Any other vote care to be heard? If not, Mr. Wheelock.
How's this work? Am I supposed to say my name?
I'm sorry?
Do I say my name?
I think it's, well, for the...
Jamie Wheelock, Precinct 5. I hope other people are planning to speak about this. I'm really uncomfortable with the coercive feeling of, if we don't do this, they're picking up and leaving town. And boy, would I feel like a jerk if they really did that and you guys wanted to point the finger at me. But it's worth understanding these guys are spending $55+ million. Their actual property tax bill is the least of their concerns. They will get the manufacturing discount they're entitled to and a whole bunch of other discounts they're going to go for. The foregone revenue that this TIF will provide them is real money the town really needs. Pick your own agenda of what things you wish was getting better funded. The high school system could be better funded. The marching band could be able to participate in away games or competitions. Any number of events could happen. We could have free lunch at the school system without having a long, drawn-out negotiation about it. We could just do it because we've got the money. Town Hall, the FinCom, has done a great job making Milford a sound, financially run town. We're not desperate to keep these people hustle or be beholden to people's do this or else claims. We are the great town we are, and they should want to stay here on the same terms the rest of all of the companies and residents that are in Milford do, which is they pay their taxes unless they're one of the companies that's already gotten a TIF. But I hope there's more discussion about welcoming these two companies to Milford as full tax-paying businesses in town who then can continue to do the nice, generous things that they would like to do as ordinary members of our community, not making up for the thanks for the TIF, now we'll give you a few more nice things. I've just hoped that several more people talk about the wisdom of giving this industry, which has more than enough cash to pay their property tax bill, to persuade them to just pay their tax bill and stay. Even the dual tax rate is not a hardship for an operation as sophisticated as these guys. Biopharma is not one of these industries that's scraping by. Thank you.
Any other vote care to be heard? If not, yes. All right, please say Mr. Moderator so I can hear you also.
Mr. Moderator, fellow town meeting members, my name is Bill Sanborn from Precinct 2, and I would just like to ask for your support on this article. I'm actually in the biotech industry, and a lot of people don't realize that it takes, on average, 10 years and $1.2 billion to develop a new drug and bring it to approvals through the regulatory process. So the town, by supporting this TIF, is doing their part in supporting the development of this business, because it's going to take them at least 3 to 5 years to bring this facility online after they've invested the $55 million that they're talking just for the facility. So I urge your support on this TIF. Thank you.
Any other vote care to be heard? If not, the question comes upon the motion as amended. I'll take a voice vote. It doesn't require 2/3, so I'll take a voice vote. All those in favor manifest by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. No. The motion is carried. Article 2. Mr. Buckley.
Mr. Moderator, town meeting members, this may be my last opportunity to speak, so I do want to say this. Hopefully the presentation you saw and the quality of presentation you saw on the screen is in keeping with what you were looking for when you approached town meeting and asked for better visuals, better audio. This is a result of a lot of hard work. I just want to thank Andy, the working group that worked with town meeting members, facilities, Carlos Benjamin, and anybody else who was involved in that. It's a much needed improvement, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity. I apologize. Thank you for the latitude, Mr. Moderator. Mr. Moderator, town meeting members, I move that the town vote pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40, Section 59, and Chapter 23A, Sections 3A through 3F, and the applicable regulations thereunder to approve tax incremental financing agreement as posted in the Town of Milford's town meeting website, as well as placed on town meeting members' chairs this evening, between the Town and Interactions LLC and Rhino Capital Advisors LLC and or its affiliate for property shown on Assessor's Map 55, Lot 7, and located at 31 Maple Street, which TIF agreement provides for real estate tax exemptions and personal property tax exemptions at the exemption rate schedules set forth therein, and authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute the TIF agreement and any documents related thereto, and to approve submission to the Economic Assistance Coordinating Council of the TIF agreement and any documents related thereto, all related to the project as described in the TIF agreement, and any necessary documents related thereto, and related submissions, and to take other such actions as necessary or appropriate to implement those documents and carry out the purposes of this article.
Motion made and second, the town vote pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 59, Chapter 23A, Sections 3A through 3F, and the applicable regulations thereunder to A, approve a tax increment financing agreement as posted on the Town of Milford's town meeting website, as well as placed on town meeting members' chairs this evening, between the Town Interactions LLC and Rhino Capital Advisors LLC and or its affiliates for property shown on Assessor's Map 55, Lot 7, and located at 31 Maple Street, which TIF agreement provides for real estate tax exemptions and personal property tax exemptions at the exemption rate schedules set forth therein, and to be authorized the Board of Selectmen to execute the TIF agreement and any documents related thereto, and approve submission to the Economic Assistance Coordinating Council of the TIF agreement and any documents related thereto, all relating to the project as described in the TIF agreement, and any necessary documents relating thereto, and related submissions, and to take such other actions as necessary or appropriate to implement those documents and carry out the purposes of this article. Finance Committee has a favorable recommendation. Selectman Buckley.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. As I said earlier, the working group took this TIF agreement and proposal to the Board of Selectmen, and it was unanimous. We subsequently took that TIF agreement proposal to the FinCom, and it was agreed to and voted unanimously. Similar to the last TIF, this is about many of the things. Brian did a great job talking about what are some of the prerequisites to TIF agreements and whether they come forward. But it's really about delivery of new jobs, and for me, it's about new economy jobs. And what I mean by new economy jobs, we all see the impact the internet is having on large box stores. And what I talk about in the diversity of jobs, and not only the diversity of jobs, but the diversity of our tax base, is there's going to be a time coming very shortly where we may need to shift away from some of our commercial tax base and have more jobs like the ones being proposed this evening. That doesn't mean it's all going away, and hopefully small shops will still exist, but the big box stores are seriously under threat from the internet. So those new economy jobs were important to me and part of my thinking as I went forward with the working group. Another piece of this puzzle in terms of Interactions LLC was the fact that we were, for lack of a better term, grabbing a business from Franklin, which I took great personal pride in. They had outgrown that facility and still have great relationships with Franklin, but they needed to make a decision about where they were moving. And Milford was a great choice in terms of not only its building, its access, the building that existed and the access, but its proximity to 495, and along with its business-friendly environment and its community. So I take great pride in having that Milford be chosen. This company is part of that new economy jobs in that it deals much with speech recognition, and many of the jobs are software related. So much of what they do is software working behind the scenes as we as customers deal with either big banks or big business. They help with that speech recognition and make that process easier, as you'll see coming up and as they do their presentation. The Interactions LLC tax impact is a 10-year incremental finance agreement. It's smaller than the last one. The company will invest $7 million, $5 million for renovation, and $2 million in personal property. 100% personal property tax exemption was agreed to by the working group. Estimated best effort tax savings over the life of the TIF to the company is $528,000 total. Estimated new revenue to the town is $384,000. What is taxed today remains unchanged, the same as the last company. So anything that exists already as a building will be taxed at the same rate. Full tax, including personal property included at the end of the TIF, is approximately $77,000 per year for a total of close to $200,000 per year net. Again, there's economic impact to that. We'll get 200 jobs and create 100 more. The company must use, or shall use, as a result of amendment earlier and likely one coming, reasonable efforts to use Milford vendors for projects, and shall use best efforts to hire Milford employees. The benefits to local spending have been discussed and are similar, or if not the same. And in this case, this building is a former Dell EMC building. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but it is currently and has been unoccupied for a very long time, at least over 3 years. So it takes what is a vacant building today and makes it economically viable, and that's encouraging as well. I'd urge your support. Thank you very much.
Any other vote care to be heard? Mr. Visconti.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Visconti from Precinct 8. Excuse me. Mr. Moderator, I move to amend the article on the floor in the following way. Let's see, okay. Regarding the TIF agreement dated January 14, 2020, referenced in the article, under the heading Company Obligations, Section 6, Sentence 1, delete, plans to use commercially reasonable and variable efforts. Replace that with shall use best efforts. In Section 6, Sentence 2, delete entirely. Replace it with the company shall advertise employment opportunities in the Milford, in the Town Crier and the Milford Daily News in order to encourage Milford residents to apply. Section 7, Sentence 1, delete plans to use reasonable efforts. Replace that with shall use best efforts.
Amendment. Go ahead. An amendment to the motion has been presented, which is as follows. Under the heading titled Company's Obligations, Section 6, Sentence 1, delete plans to use commercially reasonable and viable efforts and replace with quotation marks shall use best efforts, end of quotation. Section 6, Sentence 2, delete it entirely and replace it with the company shall advertise employment opportunities in the Town Crier and the Milford Daily News in order to encourage Milford residents to apply. Then Section 7, Sentence 1, delete plans to use reasonable efforts and replace with shall use reasonable efforts. Any vote care to be heard on the amendment to the motion, Mr.
Mr. Moderator. In an effort to save time, I won't rehash all the reasons why I'm asking you to vote for this proposed amendment. Suffice to say, this is the exact same amendment as you approved in the earlier article. I would ask you to approve this amendment for the same reasons. You have a unique opportunity here as town meeting members to make history here tonight. You can, if you approve this amendment, vote on 2 occasions tonight on an amendment that will greatly benefit the citizens of Milford without costing the taxpayers of this town a single dime. When, if ever, was this town meeting able to do that? Please, make town meeting history tonight. Approve this amendment. Thank you.
Any other vote care to be heard on the amendment to motion? Selectman Buckley.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, town meeting members. As I said earlier, the offered amendment offers no substantive or real change to the document, may clarify some intent, and so for that I would urge your support of the amendment. Thank you.
Any other vote care to be heard on the amendment to the motion? If not, the question comes upon the amendment to the motion. All those in favor manifest by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion is carried unanimously. Any vote care to be heard on the motion as amended? We have some representatives of the company that wish to speak. I understand they are not registered voters of the town of Milford, therefore would require unanimous consent of the body to address the meeting. Does anyone object? Hearing no objections, will allow the presentation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Jondu. I'm the Director of Strategy and Corporate Development at Interactions. Hello? Okay. Mic's on. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening. We also appreciate everybody who's helped us along with our journey, everybody from the Finance Committee, the Board of Selectmen, the TIF Subcommittee, Charles, Zach, Rick, Chairman Buckley. We really appreciate everybody coming on board here this evening, and we're happy to share with everybody here our company Interactions. So when you think of Interactions, you should think of us as an artificial intelligence and machine learning company that's currently headquartered in Franklin. We've been around since 2004, and big words, artificial intelligence and machine learning. But at the crux of that, what we're really trying to do is to help people like myself and you really coordinate and talk with the large enterprises that you currently deal with, the banks, hotels, food establishments, and so forth. And we're really proud of the technologies that we've built because we have gained a number of accolades and award-winning technology achievements over the past 15 years or so. The best part about our technology, in our opinion, is that we blend artificial intelligence, machine learning, but we also have humans and individuals like yourselves and myself that are working in the background to help the technology learn. So it's not just machines that are taking over and doing everything. We really have humans that are touching every aspect of this technology. When you think about our technology, and as I'd mentioned, folks like yourself are utilizing technology on a daily basis. You probably just don't know it. We like to consider ourselves the biggest AI company that no one's heard of. But at the same time, we're dealing with a large number of customers. If you wanted to go ahead and call Hyatt or Marriott and you wanted to book a reservation, you're talking to our intelligent virtual assistant is what we call them. If you wanted to go forward and call any of the banking institutions and change your password, figure out why there was a funny transaction on your debit card or credit card or whatnot, you're likely using our technology. If you are an AT&T customer and you're phoning in to figure out what your bill was, you want to change your credit card number because you got a new one in the mail, you want to adjust your plan, you're calling in and you're talking to our intelligent virtual assistant. And the cool part about our technology is that we can take it and start the conversation on the call, on the phone, but then we can switch it if you are on the go and you have to utilize and go to text message, or if you have to go to web chat and so forth. So we're very fortunate that we have a great group of customers here that have been with us along our journey, and we've been growing, and we're really happy with our growth, and we're really looking to go forward and further grow, which is why we are proposing here the opportunity to join your community in Milford. So currently, as I'd mentioned, we've been growing not only from a customer standpoint, but from an employee standpoint. We have about 200 employees in Massachusetts, and due to this, in our current constraints in Franklin, we've just frankly outgrown our capacity there. It's about 28,000 square feet in our main headquarter building there, and we're kind of busting out at the seams, and we needed to go forward and we needed to expand and find an opportunity that could help us continue on our growth path of not only gaining new customers that can come in and visit with us, but also hire on new employees that can help us build more technology to help implement and grow the products that we currently have to the select customers that I just briefly showed you. And so we evaluated for almost over a year now a number, almost 40 sites within the 95 and 495 corridor. And we're happy to say that we've found the town of Milford to have the best option for us. It's currently at 31 Maple Street, as was previously mentioned. This is our preferred location. We're really excited about this opportunity, and we're really excited to be able to go forward, take on a doubling of our space, 52,700 now, in the building that was a Dell EMC building, renovate that, and really focus on expansion from not only customers, employees, but also within the building there. You know, we are like I said, the biggest AI company that no one's ever heard of, and we're amongst gorillas in our industry, the Amazons, the Googles, Facebooks, and so forth. And you know, we're just a real small subset of that, and we're really trying to make sure that we can grow, we can keep up with it. But what we're really trying to do here is really take a dilapidated building, inject a significant amount of capital from our standpoint into this building to really turn it into our home, to really join your community here. $5 million of that will be hard costs to really outfit the building, walls, doors, windows, bathrooms, etc. And then $2 million of that will be in personal property, laptops, furniture, chairs, and so forth. This is 31 Maple Street. So this building has been vacant for almost 4 years now. It's been on the market for about 3.5, and the market being for sale, that is. We had the luxury of actually choosing our buyer for the building. We found someone that was willing to take us on as a tenant to show that we would be there and sign a 13-year lease with this, which is quite unheard of. Most companies don't sign that long-term of a lease. And we're really utilizing that to make this our home and really change it. You can see that the building really hasn't seen a lot of excitement in 4 years, and it could use a great amount of paint on the outside. It could use some enhancements to the shrubbery and the overgrown trees and so forth, as well as you can see there's a great amount of cracks and whatnot there in this. And so it's great because we double our space, we're able to grow into it, we're able to have enough parking to fit over 200 and almost 300 employees in this, and we're really able to turn around a dilapidated building in your town and make it our own home, and so that we can grow into it and grow into your community. So our proposed plan of growth, as I'd mentioned, is through jobs. You know, as I mentioned, we have 200 employees in our Massachusetts side of things. Our goal and our commitment to the town is to create 100 permanent full-time jobs. And through that growth, we're looking to bring on folks in the office, administration, finance, HR, IT, software engineering. And we're really looking forward to that because when we bring on these type of individuals, it's really due to our growth as a company, not only as employees, but also as our customer base and how we really look to grow on a number of different facets. And we're able to do that through our customers, but it's mostly the people, and we pay our people quite well. You know, our average salary for these type of new permanent full-time jobs will be around $120,000, and we have fantastic benefits. I've worked for 3 companies in Massachusetts, and I haven't seen a benefit package that's been better than this. So I'm really excited about being able to offer your town the opportunity to come forward and be a part of the Interactions community. So what have we done in our current Franklin community? We scoured our P&Ls and our financial accounting, and we said that we actually provide over $600,000 to the local Franklin community. And that's through auto repair, that's through catering, that's through restaurants, corporate service, that being IT, printing, copying, cleaning services, office supplies, etc. And with the growth of another 100 employees, that $600,000 to the town of Milford will be a much higher amount. You know, we're really looking forward to bringing forward all of the spending that we currently have in Franklin over to Milford now, and we look to expand upon that. We, like Renshaw, like to eat, so we will go forward and we will be giving to your community our money to go forward and fill our bellies. So we're really excited about being a part of your community, really excited about being able to give back to the local communities that are being developed here and that are going to be coming forward here in the next couple of years. So what have we done in Franklin? We are avid volunteers in a number of different programs. We have been very supportive at the YMCA. Our chief people officer, our head of HR, is a board level representative there. Our CEO is an active member and an active participant in a number of the programs. We've given back to the community at the YMCA in terms of helping them paint new buildings, helping them rehab their current building, as well as being able to give back to the local children, elderly, and individuals with disabilities through the YMCA program. Food Pantry and Empty Bowls food program has been a very successful program over the past years. We've been able to be really blessed that we're able to go forward and help this community and help these type of organizations, because it's a really impactful program that we really treat quite dearly to us. A number of our individuals and employees are coached on local teams. We're part of the Special Olympics sports officialing. We volunteer throughout the Boys and Girls Club, elementary, as well as we've been being able to kick off a very new program through the high school internship in the local colleges. We currently have a few students that are in high school that were a part of our program and part of our summer program and winter program, but we also have the opportunity of local colleges being able to intern through us. But I think the best part here for that is, as we think about what we've done in Franklin, we want to do it here in Milford. We want to be able to give back. We want to be able to take the roots and the strong foundations that we've created in Franklin and adopt them and really move them forward here into the Milford community. And through the conversations with the town officials, the Board of Selectmen, and so forth, there's a great amount of that opportunity for us to give back in the community involvement side of things. Additionally, other benefits to the town of Milford is that we get to retain new jobs. We get to be a part of this new economy of jobs. We get to be able to maintain our current tax rate, but then increase it on a number of different facets through the hotels. We have 300 employees that do not work in Massachusetts, and they're constantly flying in, so they're utilizing the local hotel services, the local food services, and so forth. Ride sharing, we actually currently use the Milford taxi right now, so we're already in there, and we're just looking to further cement ourselves throughout your community. So we believe that having interactions come into your town will greatly increase the community. We have the opportunity to grow within you guys, and we look forward to having you guys as our hosts in our new town. I'm just going to play a video here. Additionally, you guys can take my word for it, but here are some other individuals within interactions.
At Interactions, we believe means that we care about people and we want to treat people like people. We have so many customers that depend on us to create human intelligence for conversational AI, but internally we want to make sure that we create conversations with our employees to help them grow and develop, conversations to help them excel in their jobs, conversations to really help them be the best that they can be. So to me, that's what it really means.
We believe really is about passion. Because I think if you're not passionate about what you're working on, whether it's the overall goal of the company, if it's just your day-to-day tasks, you're not going to get very far, and the company's not going to survive. I think Interactions does a great job of hiring talented people that are truly passionate and believe that we have a great AI technology that's top of the market.
To me, we believe means coming into work every day and knowing that my opinion matters.
I love the people here. It's just been like a couple of months that I'm here, and everyone's so friendly. The technology is amazing. It's so cutting edge, and I've got to learn a lot, and my learning curve has just been increasing, and I can't wait to see what the next few months offer.
I love working with people who are the smartest in their field.
So thanks again for everybody's attention. We really appreciate being able to present to you. Thanks again for the Finance Committee, Board of Selectmen, and the TIF Subcommittee for giving us the opportunity to be here to introduce our company and to hopefully cement some foundations here within the town of Milford.
Any other vote care to be heard? Representative Murray.
Ladies and gentlemen, certainly not to be redundant, but I think from the presentation that you just saw, some of the factors that I consider important for these kinds of consideration, this company hits them on all fours. Clearly, very positive impact to the town, a great number of jobs, high quality, high paying jobs, and a true community partner from the involvement that they have had. One point that I would like to make, when I talked about the fact that this tax increment financing program is a partnership between the state, the locality, and the business, the real estate component is really kind of like the key that opens up the door to the much larger investment tax credits that the business can access, and that's at the state level. That's through the Commonwealth. That's a key component for these businesses. That's a very key component for the state's economic development plan, and it's been very, very successful, I think, in bringing business to the Commonwealth. So I would certainly urge your to vote in favor of this proposal as well.
Any other vote care to be heard? Yes. Mr. Abisla.
Hi, I'm Russ Abisla from Precinct 3. I do support the TIF agreement, but I also want you to consider some of the other long-term issues that are going to come up down the road. Right now, we're having called a disagreement with Prime and all the traffic up there. Right now, it's very difficult to get into that part of town. We're increasing by 100 jobs here, 75 jobs there. We're probably going to look at turning Beaver Street into a two-way intersection. You're going to have to pay for that. So there are long-term issues that will be coming up that this is going to affect us. So think of that when you're voting for this, please.
Any other vote care to be heard? Voter in Precinct 2.
I am Deborah Garcia from Precinct 2. I have to, I'm going to double down on him. It's very true. The traffic over there is horrendous. I have an elderly mother that lives with me, and when I think of her driving on 109 or Beaver Street, I'm fearful. I hear the sirens all the time between Amazon, Vans, Stop and Shop, Target, all that traffic. And I love the economic growth, that's wonderful. But we're talking 200 jobs, 85 from another one, 200, that's almost 300 jobs, a lot of traffic. Something has to be done. Something has to be done about the traffic infrastructure on 109 and Beaver Street. We can't just leave a blind eye to it. And yes, it's easy to get on 495. Thank you.
Any other voter care to be heard? Voter in Precinct 4.
Hi, my name is Cassie Porter. I'm in Precinct 4. I happen to work at Waters Corporation, which is right across the street from both of these companies. We have approximately 1,800 employees in that facility. And from that experience, I can tell you, these are people who are going to be employed in one area. They're not huge vans that are running around the company. These are static employees. They're going to be at their jobs except for the commuting hours and maybe at lunch. I don't think we can be comparing those to Amazon. I just wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Any other vote care to be heard? If not, the question comes upon the motion as amended. All those in favor manifest by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion is carried. Article 3. Motion has been made and seconded. We pass over Article 3. A motion to pass over is an attempt to take no action on the article as inserted in the warrant. It's debatable. Does any voter care to be heard on the motion to pass over? Town Council.
Good evening, town meeting members. Charles Bawdy, at-large member of town meeting, town council. I'm just up here, we're passing this over, but I want to give an explanation as to why, because there's been some concern that you should know why. There was an allegation after the last special town meeting that there was a defect in the process of adopting this. Since that time, we've fully investigated, vetted it all out, and we've determined that, in fact, there was no procedural defect. So the motion that was passed at the last town meeting affected this by enacting it. So we don't need to enact it a second time. That's the reason for the passover.
Any other voter care to be heard on the motion to pass over? If not, the question comes upon the motion to pass over Article 3. All those in favor manifest by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion to pass over is carried unanimously. Article 4. Selectman Kincaid.
Thank you. Mr. Moderator, town meeting members, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $155,000 from the excess and deficiency account to supplement account 220-5110, personal services, as voted upon and approved as Article 4 of the May 20th, 2019 annual town meeting, to be utilized to pay the cost items in a collective bargaining agreement between the town of Milford and the Milford Firefighters Local 2140.
Motion made and seconded. The town vote to transfer the sum of $155,000 from the excess and deficiency account to supplement account 220-5110, personal services, as voted upon and approved as Article 4 of the May 20, 2019 annual town meeting, to be utilized to pay the cost items in a collective bargaining agreement between the town of Milford and the Milford Firefighters Local 2140. Finance Committee, favorable recommendation. Selectman Kincaid.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. This article seeks to fund the cost of items contained in a collective bargaining agreement between the town and our firefighters. The additional cost is $155,000. This amount will supplement salaries and wages and be retroactive to July 1, 2019. I ask for your support.
Any other voter care to be heard? If not, the question comes upon the motion as presented. All those in favor will manifest by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion is carried unanimously. Article 5. Motion made and seconded. We pass over Article 5. Does any voter care to be heard on the motion to pass over Article 5? If not, the question comes upon the motion to pass over Article 5. All those in favor manifest by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Article 5 is passed over. Article 6. Motion made and seconded. We pass over Article 6. Any voter care to be heard on the motion to pass over Article 6? If not, the question comes upon the motion to pass over Article 6. All those in favor manifest by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Article 6 is passed over. What's the pleasure of the meeting? Motion made and seconded. We dissolve the warrant. All those in favor manifest by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. Monitors, please bring forward your attendance.